Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. If you're coming over from TikTok, we're going to do some long form content on here to try to help you guys get positions in the oil field and be able to describe more what you need to do. With this YouTube channel, we can go more in depth, show you more stuff. On TikTok, it's kind of a limited time frame that we have to actually go through everything. Where I'm going to show you how to go into Indeed and what type of search to put in. And I'm going to show you some companies in this area that are great companies that are good to work for, and you can have a good chance to go in and actually get a position with them. Good places to list are Pecos, Texas, Kermit, Texas, Mentone, Texas. You got Monahans, Texas over here, and you got Midland and Odessa. This is a large area in the Permian Basin that we do oil production in. All kinds of companies out here. You can also list in Carlsbad, New Mexico. There's companies over in Levelland, Texas. Great places to start searching for your oil field jobs. If you put in entry level and go down and search, you can go through SWD operators, terminal operators. You have CDL jobs out here, lots of CDL jobs. If you have your CDL, that's like a golden ticket. Some companies will actually train you to get your CDL. There's companies that use CDL without the air brake certification, and there's companies that need you to have your air brake certification. If you have your tanker certification, that's great. A lot of companies you can get on with for hauling produced water. Sometimes you're hauling fresh water. You're hauling, if you have your hazmat, you can haul chemical. You can haul oil out here. And there's lots of companies in the oil field for CDL work to make good money with. I actually hauled water for a little while back in 2015 before I moved into production, whenever I had a break between going through flowback and into production. I have my CDL and I keep it current because, like I said, it's a golden ticket out here. If you ever need a job, that CDL will get you a job. All right, I'm going to go through and show you some companies that are great to work for out here. Spartan. This is the area that Spartan has. Spartan companies, they have a large area. This one down here is in Kermit, Texas. It's a kind of odd address, so the best way to do that to get to Spartan if you're going to Kermit is to just type it in your Google Maps. Type in Spartan, Kermit, Texas, and it'll pull it up on there for you, and you can get to their office from there. They are a great company to get started with. They hire personnel and they contract them out to larger companies. Larger companies usually start you out as a directly supervised contractor, and once you're with them long enough, they'll actually offer you a company position, and that's what you want to strive for, because that's where you really start making more money. All these other companies, it's great to get started with them. You can make a lot of money with them, and some people stay with them very long term because they are good companies. They have good benefits, everything. EnerCorp, they are a flowback company. They're used a lot out here. They're a great company to get on with. I know I deal with a lot of guys that work with EnerCorp, and they're a very good company to work for. And their guys, a lot of companies hire them because their guys are on top of what they're doing. Like it says here, their sand management, you can go to their website and you can search through, and it's got a career section here. You can go to some of their offices and apply in person. Like I said, companies are always hiring out here because they constantly need people. People get hired on to a company that they've been contracted out to, and that leaves a gap in their positions at the company that they actually need to fill. And they have a great training program to get you trained up and working in the oil field. Another great one is Danos. They're located in Midland. You can look up their address right here. You can swing by. They've got a website where you can go in and search for that company on Indeed and see what positions they have open. And you can go through. It's got a career section right there. You can apply now. And it's got information about the company on there. Great company to work for. I deal with a lot of the Danos guys too. My company actually hires a lot of contractors from Spartan and Danos, and they eventually get hired on as company personnel once you make a name with the company. What the companies want when they hire directly supervised contractors is to know that you're going to show up to work, that you can be trained, and that you understand the job that you have, and that you're going to be able to show up, work, and that they can depend on you. So once you get on as a directly supervised contractor, this lets you make a name for yourself within the company and eventually get hired on directly with the company. Another good company in this area is Butch's rathole and anchor service. They do a lot of work in the field. I mean, a lot of work for a lot of companies in the field. This is a very good company to get on with. It's a good way to get your feet wet, to learn how to work in the oil field, what different types of companies there are out there. And whenever you're out on the location, talk to the lease operator, talk to the company man, talk to everybody you can. Start making a name with other people, get to know other people out in the field, developing those contacts while you're out there. Especially if operator or somebody starts liking you and you start talking to them and you tell them, hey, I'm interested in this kind of job. How would I get into a position like this? And believe me, I was a production operator. I used to tell people all the time that drove water trucks, that did flowback, anything. If they ask me, I tell them all the time, these are the steps you need to take. Look at working at this type of job to get into the job that I have now. Production technicians, once you get hired on with a company, those are great jobs. And you go out, you have a route, depending on how big of a company, might have a few wells, or you might have 100 wells that you go out and you check on every day. In those positions, it is very hard to lose your job once you have it. You have to really be either lazy or mess up something fierce to get fired from a position like that. And once you're with the company, a lot of people, when they get in these positions, they'll bounce around because somebody will offer them 50 cents to $1 more to come work for them at a different place. People that bounce around a lot, you're always the new person. So if you're the new person and it comes time for layoffs, the new people are going to be the ones that get laid off first, not the people that are hired on with the company or that have stayed with the company long term. Companies like that, once you're with them and you're embedded, it is almost impossible to lose your job. I've seen some bad mess ups, and a lot of times it's not the person's fault. So you're not going to get laid off out there for doing your job, but people that bounce around a lot, those are the people that usually get fired first if there are layoffs. During COVID, I worked every single day during COVID. I worked a lot more during COVID because we were so short-handed. I made almost $180,000 during that year because we were short-handed and they needed people to fill in. So what I did is actually stayed on, went to work, and anytime they called me or I knew there was an empty position that needed to be covered and we were short-handed, I would volunteer to come in and work. So it's just something to keep in mind. Whenever you get onto a job in the oil field, stay steady at it. Yes, there are a lot of opportunities. Sometimes you want to move around until you get to the right company that you feel more comfortable with, or that you're making the kind of money you want to make in the oil field. But once you get with that company, don't just constantly go out and change jobs every month or so. That is what sets you up for getting terminated if there are layoff events. So if you have questions, leave them in the comments. We will try to get more answers. Eventually, we're going to get to where we're doing a podcast type deal where we will answer questions live. And follow us on TikTok, follow us on here, and we'll see you in the next episode, or my son and I will get you out information, and we'll try to help you get hired on out in the oil field and start making that oil field money. Thanks, everybody.